Man, what's up with the what's up? It's your boy Tyrone Hunter back in the building with another edition of What's Really Good Entertainment. So yeah, man, we just gonna get right into it. The killer of young Dolph was found guilty today, right? And my personal opinion is that it ain't even about justice. It's about get back because finding someone guilty don't bring Dolph back or change what happened. Cause he ain't never gonna be here again. Like Dolph definitely started a war. And I think that people don't really know how many people even lost their life as a result of what happened, or how many people lives was affected. Even Big Jook, the one who they say pretty much was the one that put the hit out on Dolph. I mean, he lost his life, you know. Um Almost everybody that was involved, they didn't went to prison. But that's not even talking about like how much damage that was done in the street. That's not talking about, you know, the pain of his kids and his wife and his family. Um I know, it's the cliche for people to say like, yeah, justice was served because somebody went to jail, but that ain't no justice. That's revenge, That's get back. No matter which way you slice the pie, it's either, you try to get back, um, you try to get back through the court system where somebody get found guilty and then they got to suffer for the rest of their life, or if he was in the street, it probably would have been some street justice. But ultimately and at the end of the day, like nobody really wins. And even as this situation here is getting resolved where there's a verdict, there's so many other situations like this that's going on right now in society where the case is not solved, where people still going to war for similar situations. So the moral of the story is that this is a learning lesson, you know? It's a learning lesson. Like it should be a learning lesson for people to understand that you got to learn how to deal with your problems. You got to learn how to deal with your issues. You got to learn how to deal with your grievances. You got to learn how to deal with, not seeing eye to eye with somebody and figuring out a different way to deal with it aside from taking somebody's life, because that's not the answer. The dude who got convicted already, and I'm sure it's gonna be another trial for the other defendants, but the dude who got convicted, you took part in taking somebody's life. And if you look at the video, he wasn't even really the one that was, he didn't even squeeze the trigger that much. And it looked like he probably didn't even hit Dolph one time. He just ran up and just wanted to, pull the trigger just because, you know, he had it on him, and that was it. Um, so it's like it's crazy. And he had a decent rap career. He could have made more money. He could have made more money with his rap career than he made from taking the life of Dolph. And it just go to show like this is how snaked out people be, right? Because this is the same individual, the one that got found guilty today. This is the same individual that Dolph cousin Key Glock brung around the camp. He was in pictures with Dolph. He was on stage with Dolph. Like Dolph embraced dude, you know? And then he turned around and be the one charged with taking Dolph's life. And people feeling because a verdict came in that some way, somehow justice was served. I just don't see it. I don't see how justice was served. I see that it was some revenge. I see that, it was some get back, but you can't reverse what happened. Like, you can't. Dolph was a 1 in a million kind of individual, in terms of his grind, in terms of his hustle, in terms of what it is that he accomplished, in terms of, him being motivation for all of the people, from his side of town, in terms of all of the people that, he supported, that he put in position, that he did things for. So a guilty verdict, it don't put nobody else in the position that he was in to be doing what it is that he was doing for his community, to give the opportunity to so many people that he gave opportunity to motivate so many people that he motivated, in this world. Like, it don't change that, somebody being found guilty, it don't equate. And I don't know why people look at it like that, but that's how people was taught to judge and look at things. But nobody wins. And I hope that's the biggest lesson that's learned from all of this, is that nobody wins. Dolph didn't win, Big Jook didn't win, Yo Gotti didn't win. Neither of the record labels won. Nobody that, that was involved in this situation, or that lost their life as a result of this situation, or, that's still out there right now with revenge on their mind. Like, you think it's over? You think because it was a verdict, people gonna be like, oh, okay, somebody went to jail and it's done, it's over with? No. All this did was confirm where the hit came from. And so now, if people wasn't sure before where it came from, they sure now where it came from. And what do you think that's going to do? That's going to spark even more issues. Now it's confirmed that Big Jook is the one that put the hit out on young Dolph. So even though, and just based on testimony that Yo Gotti ain't have nothing to do with it, nobody never thought that Yo Gotti had something to do with it per se and technically. But Big Jook is his brother. So because your brother did this, people looking to do something to Yo Gotti. So now Yo Gotti got to be on point. Now Yo Gotti got to be aware. Now Yo Gotti got to be smart. Everybody that's a part of CMG, could actually be a target just for being affiliated with with Yo Gotti, and Big Jook. Then they got family in Memphis. So people need to stop thinking that, guns is the way to solve disputes, because it's not. And just because a verdict was read and somebody got found guilty, meaning somebody gonna get punished for the crime, that don't mean that justice was served. It would never amount to justice, because none of those jurors know nobody that was involved in this situation. You understand what I'm saying? The court system, they just provide a way for people to be punished for crimes that they commit. But I just think that with the truth being out, it's just gonna lead to more chaos, and it's gonna lead to more confusion. And we just gonna have to pay attention to the news and see what's next. But it's definitely not over. Rest in peace, young Dolph. Condolences to his family, and condolences to everybody who was a loved one of young Dolph. Because when you really, really look at it, Dolph, he got it out the mud. He came up, he did it his way. He had a lot of fun with it. And, because he was going back and forth, dissing uh Big Jook and dissing Yo Gotti, um, and taunting him on records. He was talking about he was sleeping with Yo Gotti baby mother in his records. He was talking about, he used to front Big Jook, some work when Yo Gotti wouldn't do it and was calling Big Jook big sister. You know what I'm saying? So like taunting people in certain ways. And because you feel you a man, or because you feel you grown, and you just out there saying anything and everything that that comes to your head, and you feel like you could say whatever it is that you want irregardless of consequences. That's another sense of false bravado that a lot of people go through, deal with, and experience. Sometimes things that you say could result in you losing your life. you know and that's what this is also another example of. Because it's two sides to every coin. And this is also an example of, like, you're gonna be held accountable for what it is that you say out your mouth. And no, I'm not sitting here saying that because he was being disrespectful it deserved for his life to be taken. I'm more so saying that, because of his disrespect was, contributed to why, people wanted to take his life. So had it not been that, had it not been for the disrespect, had it not been for calling people out their name, had it not been for, taunting people, then he probably would have still been alive. You know, he probably would have still been alive. Um, you should never make fun or taunt anybody. And this is the kind of world that we living in nowadays, where people be talking about and be dissing their ops and be dissing their rivals, and be talking about this one and disrespecting that one. And like, y'all not realizing the cycle keep going on and on and on and on and on, and it's always the same results: somebody losing their life. So if y'all really want to get justice for Dolph, man, why don't y'all stop with the back and forth and dissing each other and trying to cloud up off of each other, and trying to trying to make your ops or people that you disagree with, try to make them part of your mockery, because it could catch up with you. And it's so part of the music culture, the hip hop culture, and the culture in certain parts of society. People are not learning the lessons. So if y'all really want justice for Dolph, and if y'all really want it to be justice, it's like certain things y'all gotta stop. Y'all should stop doing. Because if you don't stop doing it, it's gonna be consequences. Some people don't take disrespect lightly. It's not always about money. It's not always about how much money you have or how much money another person have, because you could be smart broke, or you could be a rich fool. Just because you got money, that don't mean you smarter. You're gonna make the right decisions. And just because you broke, that don't mean you're gonna make the wrong decisions. Some men and some guys, they're just emotional beings. They're emotional individuals, and only thing they know how to do is act off of their emotions, and their emotions is what put them in a messed up predicament. Like, was y'all really listening to when the other trigger man was saying that he had dropped his daughter off, and he went with straight drop to go do the hit on Dolph because he was just trying to get some money to do something for his daughter and take care of his daughter. And he wound up getting shot on that day. And he gonna face the music as well. It's not over. He told on one of the trigger men because he was offered a deal, but he's still gonna do some time as well, because he was a trigger man. Like, you can't erase that from the camera. Just because one person got found guilty, you can't erase from the camera that this other individual was a shooter. You can't erase from the camera that, it's still other people. It's still another trial that's going to go on, and somebody else is going to get found guilty. Somebody else is going to go to prison, And all of this is behind what? All of this is behind words. A whole war was sparked behind words, behind people disrespecting each other, back and forth. And that's how it starts, That's how it starts. So I don't know, man. And like I said, I just don't think that justice was served. However, I do think justice can be served if, people learn from this and decide to do different and move different. But the reality is that might not be the case. A lot of times, like, people don't want to let go of their ways, and it just so happens a lot of people think they tough. A lot of people feel like because they got access to a firearm, that they tough. But if somebody get the drop on you first, it don't matter how tough you is. If somebody catch you slipping, it don't matter how tough you is. So it's like, really do yourself a favor and don't get caught up in these kind of situations, because it's not good. A lot can be learned from this, and clearly there was no winners. And clearly this ain't over. So we just gonna stay tuned, and we're gonna see which way the ball bounce from here. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Let me know what y'all feelings is. Let me know what y'all thoughts is. Do y'all think justice was served, or do y'all think it wasn't served? Do you think that this is the end of it, or do you think that this is gonna just spark another round of, the nonsense, and the back and forth until more people got to be buried and more people gonna go to prison? Like the video, share the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, so you could be updated when I drop more videos, and support the channel. This is one of those videos that got to get out there, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people is going to try to glorify this. A lot of people, is going to give some opinions that's going to rile people up. But, we got to be real about what's happening, and we got to be real about what this signifies. It definitely don't signify the end. It definitely don't signify closure, and it definitely don't signify justice, But yeah, that's my spill. That's real. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and get this video out there so that other people will get involved in the conversation and they can understand what's going on. And rest in peace to everybody that lost their life as a result of this incident and these incidents. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. It's your boy Tyrone Hunter. What's really good entertainment? We out.